All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for grooving over to the DFS 5 pack to get a little day baseball. We got ourselves a small 3 game slate, small enough that we'll have it written. I know you've done half the write up already. Not large enough that, it's probably going to get too many people excited about this slate. But hey, it's still 3 games. We've all had some good finishes on 3 game slate before. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to talk this one out, if nothing else. See if we find some common ground here.
All right. I didn't look at weather today, but it doesn't look like it's a concern.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. So as far as the pitching goes, I mean, you're not going to use an opener, so it really limits us to a 5 guy. So it's a pitching pool of 5, and even though he's been a little off lately, I have to assume that you probably agree. Like Darvish is the top dog, though, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I already wrote him up. I think there's three. For me personally, there's 3 guys in play. Two
Can I
guys.
guess?
Yeah, sure.
Gibson, Manaea, Darvish.
You got 2 of them right, one of them not.
No Manaea.
No Manaea. No Manaea. I'm turned off by the high pitch count last time out. I think Arizona bats are in play. I was looking hard at Sammy Long, hoping that he was starting. I'm not sure what to do now that he's not because it's no guarantee he comes in, but he was like dominant in the minor leagues in a real good spot here. So for me, it's Darvish, Gibson, and Long. Probably just play Darvish and Gibson.
I think that was my initial gut instinct because I guess for me, we'll be a little bit different on Manaea, just from the standpoint that if I had to bet on a raw points, I think I would bet Manaea over Gibson, but it'd be like by a point or two. And for me, then I'll just take the 1,500 right there. And I feel very safe with Kyle Gibson, who's been nothing short of awesome this year. Kyle Gibson's having a great year. And I do. So we always have these teams that we differ on. Right now, Arizona seems to be one of them. We used to differ on the Giants. But man, you've got me on the Giants the last couple of years. I respect them as an organization. I respect who they are as a team this year. They're playing good baseball, but they are beat the hell up right now.
They definitely are. That said, I do think that the Giants are low owned on this slate because Gibson's going to be very high owned.
Yeah. But I'm team Kyle Gibson. I have been I mean, to have the numbers that he has this year, I just want everybody to really think about how impressive his numbers are this season. For a guy, we missed it on his game log now, who gave up 6 earned runs in .1 innings to start the year. To have his season-long numbers now is nothing short of sensational.
Agreed. Like for me personally, I think that, in the spirit of wanting to get different in tournaments, like I want to use either
Brandon Crawford?
No, I want to use either like Cubs bats against Darvish or Diamondbacks bats against Manaea or Giants bats against Gibson. My favorite out of those is Diamondbacks against Manaea.
Okay.
I don't think you have to do that. You could also look at Texas. San Diego is going to get a lot of love, and I also like Oakland a lot. So, I mean, it's a fun slate in that regard.
So this is exactly why I don't like this slate, is because
you probably just like San Diego.
Yeah, I just think it's so obvious that I don't really have anything else that I like enough to want to be different right here. And I mean, I could just run a cash game, I guess, if I wanted to. But like none of these other teams get me excited because I really do respect Kyle Gibson. San Fran's missing a bunch of their best players, so I'm not as scared of their lineup right now. It's almost impossible to get excited about the Texas offensive players, especially knowing Gallo's probably going to be out of the lineup today. Arizona's the worst. Rest the worst. I don't know. I'm not an Arizona fan. We've talked about this one at length. I respect Manaea much more than that. How popular are Oakland bets? Second most popular, probably.
Yeah, second most popular behind San Diego. I think they probably should be the most popular though, personally. So that's what stand I would probably take is Oakland over San Diego.
Okay, I can get on board with that. That you have no issues rolling with that right there. I also have a soft spot for what?
Day games in Oakland.
Day games in Oakland. I've had a lot of good luck. Going back to, I think we had one last week where it wasn't like it was a huge day, but I think I ran 3 GPPs and 2 of them at least tripled up because I ran Oakland pretty full on a day slate and they were really good. So I have a soft spot for them. It doesn't mean it's the right answer. It just means it's easier for me to roster.
Yeah, definitely thinking about, using not Manaea, Gibson and Darvish and stacking that game.
I gotcha. I still think Oakland's pretty popular though. That's the only issue. Like I'm still not. I like being different on 3 game slates, but I don't like the spots to be different here. So it's hard to get excited about it, which is kind of what we discussed early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'll still play it differently just because I think that on 3 game slates, too many. San Diego's just going to be too highly owned. It's not like Arrieta's a trash can. He wasn't good last time out, but I don't know.
He's had a rough go of it lately, but he had a nice start to the year too. So I think it's the best place on paper, but I don't think you're right. No, I think you're right. I don't think he's a god awful pitcher. He's not what he was, years ago. But okay, so what happens, right? Like I could see him pitching well today.
Yeah, I mean, Davies pitched well for the Cubs last night. I think that it's obviously risky as hell to fade, but I do think, yeah, I mean, I think Oakland and San Diego are the two most popular. I do think San Diego is the most popular, though. They got bigger names.
Agreed. Like Tatis today will probably be one because you can afford it with Darvish being priced down. You got Gibson as a compliment. You're at almost 4,200 per offensive guy. I think Tatis will be huge chalk today, and he should be huge chalk. He is the best bat on this slate, by a decent amount.
A lot of the other good bats are against like the pitchers that people like. So like Darvish will be low owned. Olsen will be high owned for sure. But like Marte will be a low owned. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, if I wanted to get real nuts, I'd try to make a case for Cubs bats, but again, I can't. I can't logically play the Cubs here. I respect Darvish enough that I just can't even make an argument for it.
No, I mean, I could get on board with like a Rizzo one-off with a monster game last night, and it's not like Darvish is impervious to getting hit. And I think that that's not crazy on a 3 game slate. Use Rizzo over Olsen.
Sure, because I mean, there's only really 2 expensive bats that are desirable. Matt Olson and Tatis. I'm sure they're both going to be, well over 50% owned.
Agreed.
And I think they're good plays. It's also why you're strictly GPP. In baseball, I'm definitely more GPP than cash, but I like the cash build today. So if I play this one, I don't know. I haven't played a cash lineup in baseball in a while. Maybe I would just do that today.
For sure. And yeah, I also like, you're not going to get excited about it, but I'm interested to see how much love Texas gets. Because when I first looked at this slate, they had Long as the starter. And I was like, oh man, people are so, going to want to use Texas because these young starters have gotten blown up. And I like Long. Now, I'm not sure. I think Texas probably gets left behind here.
Maybe. It's definitely possible. You're probably not going to get Joey Gallo today, guys. He got removed last night for a groin injury. That's definitely one day game after a night game. I would be shocked if he was in the lineup today.
He ain't playing.
Yeah, okay. We see that eye to eye. It's so hard to get excited about Texas. where I'm an Adolis Garcia fan. We've both been raving about this guy all year long. He's slowed down a little bit recently, which is to be expected with, how well he was playing early in the season. I still think he's in play. I'm just not as excited about it because I haven't seen the power numbers in the steals lately.
I got no arguments.
Doesn't mean he can't do it today. It's just harder to get, I got to get him in my lineup.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit, I'm not sure because, it's not like he was always like some top prospect that was supposed to be that good.
Right.
He was with the Cardinals for a minute, and he actually got some major league at bats, and he, wasn't anything special. So I'm a little bit like, is this going to come crashing down? Are we starting to see it?
Yeah, I'm starting to regret not trading him in all my year-long leagues, like trying to get something for him because it looks like he's coming back to reality.
Yeah, I think so too.
We've seen this with guys that come up. We've talked about Rhys Hoskins plenty of times lately. Like Rhys Hoskins is still a little. I don't know. What would you give Rhys Hoskins as a letter grade as a player? B minus, B?
I would give him a B.
Okay. I mean, when he came up, man, this guy looked like a Mike Trout type of talent. And now, like, you give him a B, but if I had to choose between B minus or B plus, I'd probably go B minus.
Okay, I have no arguments with that. I'd have to think about that one, but I have no arguments with it.
Yeah, and I have no arguments with the B rating. I'm just saying, like, if you ask me to move it in one direction,
I get you.
I don't know. That's probably where I would go. But anyways, it's kind of neither here nor there. Definitely, if you're playing cash games, guys, get as much Oakland and San Diego as you can. Um, Sounds like you're vibing a little bit on more of a Arizona-Oakland game stack, trying to make a case for Texas. I get that. And the best case for San Francisco is they're not popular. I don't get excited about them. Like Dickerson probably not going to be in the lineup. No Yastrzemski. Belt came back yesterday, so that is one guy. And you can one-off Brandon Crawford, though. I've been hard on this guy for years. He's having a great season.
You've been so hard on him for so many years. I'm so mad I didn't play him last night. Monster game, obviously. Yeah, Jurgen won off him for sure.
Great season, just overall. Like, he's never a guy that's going to get anywhere close to batting 300. But, man, the power numbers have been off the chain. He got that OPS up well over 900. He's having a great year. And, of course, he does it with the glove every single day.
For sure, no doubt about it.
So, I know nobody of these guys watch it, but I do like to give credit to guys when they deserve it, and he deserves it. He's having a great year.
For sure, no doubt about any of that.
Oh, I forgot to mention it when we started talking. Did you see, just because of the guy I am hard on is Paul George, did you see the meme floating around of, the Jordan, I took it personally?
Yeah.
And it was the picture of Jordan, and it goes, quotes Paul George. He goes, and then they gave Porzingis my playoff P name, and I took that personally after last night's game where I think he started like 2 of 14.
I didn't even realize he was awful last night.
Yeah, it definitely cracked me up. That was a fun game to watch. Really, tale of two halves. Donovan Mitchell was so good in the second half.
Yeah, it looked like he had a monster game. I missed most of it, but his box score said it all.
Yeah, he was amazing in the second half. Like if you came down from a different planet and just watched the second half, you would think he was the best player in the NBA.
Better than TJ Warren in the bubble?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Because it's a playoff game, like a real one for sure. He was amazing. They could not stop the pick and roll to save their lives.
Interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. Both games were pretty close. I know that the Philly game, the final score ended up being pretty lopsided, but that game, it looked like it was a game of runs, like they all are, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the second game was exactly what we talk about with a rested team versus a team that's been playing competitive basketball lately. It was a tale of two halves, right? Like the Clippers kicked the crap out of the Jazz in the first half. They had played more recently. They weren't rusty. Second half, they got tired, and the Jazz made a huge comeback, and they were clearly the fresher team. So we've talked about that all NBA season, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, very predictable when you look at it like that.
Yeah, it really, really was. And, for a 3-point game or whatever it ended up being, it was exciting. It was a good one to watch. I know you probably, like you said, you didn't catch it because it's late for an East Coast guy like yourself.
Very much so.
Any hoodle, just to kind of stay on track and get this one wrapped up for the day. One lineup gun to head right now. It sounds like you're Darvish Gibson with an Oakland, Arizona stack.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, and I don't like anything different today, so I wish I had some hot takes for you all. I don't have one. I am actually considered playing my first MLB cash game in a couple of weeks and running with probably the same pitching staff of Darvish and Gibson, and then going pretty heavy on Oakland and San Diego bats. But I don't know. It's going to be real chalky, so I'll probably just ride some chalk today.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you can also be different by using guys in the bottom of those lineups.
There is always that. I know that's something that you talk about probably as much, if not more than anybody else within the industry, is using the bottom of the lineup. It's tough for people to do. You get on average half a less at bat, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work out for that day. And I've seen you have a lot of success using the bottom of the lineups.
People hate leaving money on the table.
Yeah, yes, they do. So that about does it for today, guys. We'll see you for some night baseball in just a little while.
Thanks, guys.